Hey there, Louis Acabellas here. Thanks for stopping by. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a team in Microsoft Teams. Now, if you find this tutorial useful, please like it below and be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on the latest Microsoft Teams tutorials. You'll also want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to make sure you don't miss out on all of the other content that I'm publishing. And last but not least, if you're interested in learning more about the tools that I use to create these videos, check out the links in the description below. Now let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, now in this tutorial, we're actually going to look at several different ways that you can create a team in Microsoft Teams. We're going to look at how to create a team from scratch. We'll also look at how to create a team using Microsoft's out-of-the-box team templates. We're also going to look at how to create a copy of an existing team. We'll look at how to create an organization-wide team. We'll look at how to create a team from an existing Azure Active Directory group. And lastly, we're going to look at how to create a team from the Microsoft Teams Admin Center. Now we're going to go ahead and get started by creating a team from scratch. Now to create a team, you want to click on the Teams icon. And here you want to scroll down and click on the Join or Create a Team button. This is going to bring up the Join or Create a Team menu. And here you want to click on Create Team. And here we're going to click on From Scratch. And now we have a few different options as to how we want to create this team from scratch. And the first option is to create a private team. Now, private teams can only be joined if the team owner adds someone to them. The second option is to create a public team. Now, public teams are visible to everyone from the Microsoft Teams gallery. That's when you clicked on Join or Create a Team. If you selected Join a Team, then you would have that listed there. And again, with public teams, anyone in the organization is able to join them without requiring approval by the team's owner. And the last option is to create an organization-wide team. Now, organization-wide teams will automatically add and remove users as accounts are created in the Azure Active Directory, which is one component of the Microsoft Teams backend. All right, and so in this example, we're going to create a private team. So here you want to click on Private. And now you're going to be prompted to give your team a name. So I'm going to go ahead and enter Human Resources. And you can also provide a description for this team. And then you want to go ahead and click on Create. So your team has been created and now you're being prompted to add in members to this team. Now you can do this in this step, or you can skip this and just add the members after the fact. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add my colleague Alex Wilbur here. So I'm going to click on his name and I'm going to click add. And so now I've added one colleague to this team. And if I wanted to change his role from member to owner, I could easily do that by clicking on the little drop down and clicking on owner. I'm going to go ahead and click close. And there you go. You can see that I've now created this team from scratch. All right, now we're going to look at how to create a team using one of Microsoft's out-of-the-box templates. So again, from the Teams menu, you want to click on Join or Create a Team, and you want to click on Create a Team. And this time, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to Select from a template. And you can see here that Microsoft Teams features a bunch of different templates that you can create your team from. So you can see Manage a Project. So this is a team that is sort of pre-formatted to managing projects. You can see here that there's a template for managing an event. You can see an onboarding employees team, a team that's aimed at promoting and increasing adoption of Office 365, incident response, etc. You can just kind of scroll down and see what these templates include. Now I'm going to click on Manage a Project. So I'm going to use the project management team template. And what you'll notice about these templates is that really what they do is they automatically create some predetermined channels here. So you can see that the Manage a Project team is going to be created and there will automatically be 4 channels included: General, Announcements, Resources, and Planning. And you'll also notice that these teams will come installed with some certain applications that might be conducive to this specific type of team. So in this case, it's going to have the Approvals app installed, the Lists app, OneNote, Tasks by Planner and To Do, and the Wiki app. Okay, so that's really what these templates are, is they're just sort of trying to help streamline that process and help you get started with your team right out of the gate. So the next step here is to click on Next. And again, even when using these out-of-the-box templates, again, you have the option to choose between a private or public team. In this case, I'm going to click on Private, and I'm going to give this team a name. If you wanted to give this team a description, again, you can do that. And because this team is going to be created with some predetermined channels, if you click on Customize Channels, you can actually come in here and rename some of these channels if you wanted to do that. Just a note, again, you cannot rename the general channel. That is the channel that is created by default, and there isn't any ability to sort of customize that channel. Now, I'm just going to leave these channels named as they are, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. Now, as you're using these templates, you might notice that the Creating the Team menu stays on the screen for 30 to 40 seconds, if not even a couple minutes sometimes. The reason for this is because it is actually installing those applications into the team as well, which takes a little bit more time. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on Close, and you'll see here that the team has actually been created already. And at this point in time, it only includes the general channel. In a few seconds, you would expect to see the additional channels pop up. All right, so you can see here that the 3 hidden channels option has popped up. This means that the team has been created. So I'm just going to click on this, and this is going to show you these additional channels that we saw were included in this template. To add them or make them visible to all, you want to click on the Show button. All right, so these are now visible, and now I'm just going to quickly click into them. So you can see here in the Announcements tab, again, it just features our standard Post tab, Files tab, and Wiki tab. Same thing in the Planning channel, and same thing in the Resources channel. Okay, so again, what's interesting about these out-of-the-box template teams is they don't actually add the apps that were listed in the description as tabs, for example, which would be pretty handy. They just install them in this particular team. Now, to demonstrate that, if I click on Add a Tab and I search for Lists, which was one of the apps that was included, and if I click on this, now you can see here that I just have to click Save to finish adding this to this particular channel. Okay, if I was doing this, for example, in a standard team, it would take a minute to actually install this application. All right, so that's how to create a team using one of the many out-of-the-box template teams in Microsoft Teams. All right, so next we're going to look at how to create a copy of an existing team. Now, to do this, you want to click on the Join or Create a Team button, and again, you want to click on Create Team. And this time you want to click on From a Group or Team. And if you want to create a team by cloning an existing team, here you'll click on Team. And this is going to display all of the teams that you are a member of. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to clone my finance team. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, and here I can give this team a name. So I'm going to call this Finance Operations Team. Okay, and I can specify whether I want this to be a private team. So again, only team owners can add members, or public, anyone in the organization can join. I'm going to leave this as private. Okay, and I can also choose what I would like to include from the original team. Okay, now that includes tabs, team settings, apps, and if I even wanted to just add in members from the original team, I could check that and add people in. Now you'll notice you're automatically going to clone the channels from the existing team, and you can't necessarily turn that off. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. All right, and you can see here that 3 members have already been added, so I'm just going to click Skip. I'm not going to add any new members in yet. All right, and you can see here that my finance operations team was created. Now you'll notice that right now I just have the general channel that was added. Okay, and I've got my post tab, files tab, wiki tab ×2, and the whiteboard tab. Now, if I click into the general channel of the finance team that we cloned, okay, you're going to see here that I have the same tabs, okay? Now you'll note that I featured wiki twice in the new team, okay? This is likely because I was cloning this channel, and wiki is automatically included by default in the general channel. Now you will also notice that I have a private channel in the original team that we cloned, and that was not carried over, so that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. And if I click into my manage team and I expand on the members, you're going to see the same team members that are featured in the team that we cloned. All right, so that's how to create a new team by copying an existing team. All right, so now we're going to look at how to create an organization-wide team. So you want to click on join or create a team, and then you want to click on create team. And here we are going to select from scratch. And next we're going to click on org wide. And by default, the team name that is going to be added is the name of your Microsoft 365 environment. So I'm just going to change this to organization team. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on create. All right, and you can see here that this team has been created. And now I'm going to click into manage my team. And you're going to notice that in an organization-wide team, it's automatically going to include everybody who has an account in your Azure Active Directory. And you'll also notice the disclaimer here at the top that says team members will automatically be added and removed to reflect your Active Directory. So one of the benefits of organization-based teams is that as users come and go in your environment, this org-wide team in Microsoft Teams is going to take care of the additions and the removals. So it's a pretty handy feature. And that's it. This is how to create an organization-wide team in Microsoft Teams. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to create a team from an existing Azure Active Directory group. Now, before I actually show you how to do this in Microsoft Teams, what I'm going to do for demonstration purposes is I'm going to pull up the Azure Active Directory Admin Center. Now, if you are not an administrator over your Microsoft 365 environment, then you likely don't have access to this platform. I'm just showing you so that you can see what happens in the background. This is where you'll actually come to create Active Directory groups, which are essentially a group of users that you put together under a common name. So you'll notice here that I have a finance team group, a maintenance department group, and these sort of represent the teams that have been created in Microsoft Teams. So again, when a Microsoft team is created, it's actually creating an Azure Active Directory group, these entities here in the background. Now, what I've done is I've actually created an Azure Active Directory group called Operations Team. Okay, so this is an Active Directory group, and you'll notice here that I have one owner, okay, and one member. Now, if I click on members, you can see here that my colleague Adele Vance is a member, and if I click on owners, you'll see here that I'm an owner. Okay, now I'm going to quickly pull up Microsoft Teams, and you'll notice in my list of teams here that I do not have a team called Operations. Okay, I have Finance Operations. That's not the same one. So now to create a team from that Azure Active Directory group, you want to click on the Join or Create a Team button. Okay, and then you want to click on Create Team. And this time you want to click on From a Group or Team. All right, and now you can see I have the option of checking the Microsoft 365 group. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see here Operations Team. So that group that we were just looking at is available for me to select. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to click on Create. All right, and I've now created my Operations Team, and if I click into Manage Team, you can see here that I am the owner, and we would expect my colleague Adele Vance to be listed as a member. And you can see here that Adele is listed. Okay, so again, this is just another way for you to create teams in Microsoft Teams. All right, now I'm going to show you one more way to create a team in Microsoft Teams, and this time we're going to do it through the Teams Admin Center. Now I'm just going to bring up the Admin Center here. Now before I actually show you how to do this through the Admin Center, again, just like I mentioned with the Azure Active Directory Admin Center, in order to have access to this, you do require elevated privileges. So it's likely that your Microsoft 365 or Teams administrators are the ones that have access to this portal. So if you don't have access to it, you're not going to be able to create a team in this manner. Now, from the Teams Admin Center, what you want to do is click on the Teams dropdown, and you want to click on Manage Teams. And what you'll see here is a list of all of the teams that exist in your Microsoft 365 environment. So you'll see these look a little familiar by now: Maintenance Department, Finance Team, Human Resources, etc. To create a team from here, you want to click on the Add button. Okay, and you want to give this team a name. This time I'm going to call this projects team. If you wanted to put a description in, you could. And to select your team owners, you want to search for them in this box. Okay, and I'm searching for myself, but you can see I'm already selected. And then in terms of the next step, you have the ability again to either make this a private team, meaning only owners can add in members, or public, meaning anybody can freely join. I'm just going to leave this as private. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the Apply button. All right, and you can see here that the projects team was created, and it has one owner and one member. And now if I flip back into Microsoft Teams, you'll see here that this projects team is now listed in my team. And if I click on Manage Team, you can see here that I am listed as the owner, and there are no members aside from myself with owner permissions. Okay. All right, so that's it. In this tutorial, I showed you several different ways that you can create a team in Microsoft Teams. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, please like it. Please drop a comment below. And most importantly, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay up to date on the latest Microsoft Teams tutorials. I'm Louis Jacobellis. Thanks for stopping by. Talk soon.